Hello students, it's nice to meet you again. The lesson now is measurement. Measurement process is very important in our daily life. If you want to buy something from the market, for example, if you want to buy orange from the vegetables, you go to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper measure the mass of this orange by putting it on one pan, then put 1 kilogram or 1.5 kilogram, 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, and so on. Here the aim is to measure the mass of this. It's a comparison process between two quantities, an unknown quantity here and a known quantity here. This is known. Mass is 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, half kilogram, and so on, but the mass of this is unknown. So the measurement process is a comparison of an unknown quantity with another quantity which is known here of its kind, in order to know the number of times which the first includes the second. The first includes the second. This is a measurement for the mass. If you want to measure the length of a certain person, or your length, you use what is known as the meter tape. Meter tape is a tool used for measuring the length. The unit here is meter, which is known by the law. If you want to measure the temperature of this child, for example, you use a thermometer. The unit here is Celsius. If you want to measure the intensity of electricity passing through this electric wire, you use this instrument which is called ampere, and the unit is called ammeter, and the unit is ampere. If you want to measure the potential difference, you use a device called voltmeter, and the unit is volts. If you want to measure the time, you use an alarm or watch clock to measure the time, and the unit is second, minute, or hour. If you want to measure the volume, you use this tool. If you want to measure the length, small lengths, you use the ruler. If you want to measure the mass, you use 1 kilogram or another unit of masses, and so on. Here are other tools used for measuring. This is used for measuring angles, okay, and so on. This unit is called measuring unit. Its mass is known by the law. 1 meter is measuring unit. The second is a measuring unit. And now the hour is a measuring unit. The ampere is a measuring unit, and so on. What is a measuring unit? A certain portion of a certain physical unit which is known and authorized by the law. This is authorized by the law, known to all people in all countries. Also, if you have a solution and you don't know if this solution is acidic solution, alkaline solution, or basic solution, you use an instrument also called the pH meter, and this pH meter called power of hydrogen, pH power of hydrogen. It's a method for measurement. It's a method to measure the acidity and alkalinity of a solution, or it is a measurement that determines the concentration of hydrogen ions in the solution. We know that if the concentration of hydrogen ions is great, this means that this solution is acidic. If the concentration of hydrogen ions is very, very small, we say that this solution is alkaline, and so on. Also, the power pH value is a measurement that determines the concentration of hydrogen ions in the solution to determine if the solution is acidic, basic, or neutral. The pH value is measured by a tool or a device called pH meter. The reading of this pH meter may be 7 or less than 7 or greater than 7. If the measurement of the pH meter is less than 7, we say that this solution is acidic. If the pH meter reading is exactly equal to 7, we say that this solution is neutral. If the reading of the pH meter is greater than 7, we say that this solution is basic solution. Why we measure the pH value? Because it is important in some chemical reactions. This is also important in biological reactions. Very important information is obtained by measuring the pH value of the solution. After you measure, you get two parts of measurement: a numerical value and a unit. My length, for example, or my tall is 150 centimeters. This is a numerical value, and this is the unit. This is my mass, 57 kilogram, numerical value, and this is a unit, and so on. Why we measure? We measure to get information. Okay, this information may be about me, my mass, my length, and so on. May be about a solution. If you have a solution of unknown concentration, you must measure the concentration of this. So measurement is gaining information type and in concentration of the element forming the substance. If you want the concentration of the elements that forming the substance, you must measure. If you want to monitor and protect yourself, you must measure. For example, if you want to know the concentration of glucose in your blood, you must monitor, you must measure in the clinical lab to protect yourself, to evaluate also the situation and suggest a medication. Here it is important for the doctors to diagnose your case. Best place for measuring the for making measuring process is inside the lab, because inside the lab tools are present, precautions are followed inside the lab. What are the emergency procedures in the lab? Gloves, protecting glasses, special clothes, no smoking inside, no eating inside the lab, no using for fire, especially when it is close to inflammable liquids. Here are some measuring tools in chemistry. This is the scale, 2-pen scale, or a sensitive digital for measuring the masses of light objects. The units may be kilograms, here maybe milligrams or grams. This is another measuring tool called burette. This is supported here by a stand to make it vertical like that. It is equipped with a tap here. It is graduated from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. Zero here is at the top. 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. It is used for measuring volumes accurately, especially in titration reactions. This is called a beaker. This beaker is used for mixing liquids and solutions, or you can put liquids here and transfer them from place to another. This is called graduated cylinder, used to accurately measure the volume of liquids and solutions. It can be also used for measuring the volumes of irregular solid objects. This is called the conical flask. This is used in titration processes. This is called round bottomed flask used for preparing and distillation process, for preparing substances and distillation process. This is called the volumetric flask. This is used for preparing standard solutions. What is standard solution? The solution which has a known concentration. This is called a pipette, used for measuring and transferring volumes of solutions. This is a pH meter which measures the pH value. The pH value, which I said before, that it is a method for measuring the acidity or alkalinity of a solution. If you want to measure the acidity or alkalinity of this solution, you put the probe here, then read this number. If this number is less than 7, this solution is acidic. If the reading of pH meter is exactly equal to 7, the solution is neutral. If the value is greater than 7, solution is basic solution. This is a graduated cylinder used for measuring volume. If you want to read the volume of the liquid inside, this is 45 milliliter. Your reading must be, if you want to measure exactly, put your eye here. Don't put your eye above or down. This is an error. You must put your eye here horizontally. This is also, the volume is 250 milliliter. Also put your hand here while reading the volume. This is a titration process at which chemical reaction occurs between this solution, which may be an acid, and this solution, which may be a base. One of the two solutions is a standard solution, and the other solution is of unknown concentration. A chemical reaction occurs between them, and an indicator drops is put here to determine if the reaction is ended or not. This is a burette. This is a burette which is graduated from top to bottom, and this is a stand which supports the burette, and all the processes called titration process. This is a volumetric flask which is used to prepare the standard solution. You know that the solution consists of two parts. One of them is a solute and the other is a solvent. The mass of the solute is measured here by the sensitive balance. Then the solute is put here inside the volumetric flask. Then the solvent is put, and by shaking the solution occurs, and the total volume is completed till this mark. And now this solution is a standard solution because the mass of the solute is known and the total volume is also known. So the concentration is known and the solution is called standard solution. This is the end of this lesson. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.